Okay. So last time we talked about convergence of a method, right? So based on stability condition, right? So basically we see an exercise where we try to see the uh, Dalquist root condition uh, and the association of that with the convergence of the method by looking at the first order simple ordinary differential equation. So now what we are going to do is we are going to talk about something called right. So we are going to talk about something called predictor corrector methods. So here what we are going to do is we are going to talk about basically solving a implicit linear multi-step method, right? Excuse me. Right, so we are going to consider an implicit linear multi-step method. So you all know the how an implicit linear multi-step method looks like. Or P. Right, so we will consider a linear p-step method like this. Right. So in order to solve this, right? So if you want to solve this, then you know you use the iterative method. Right, so this is how you solve. Right, so we have seen this earlier as well. Right, so we use an iterative method to solve this. Right. Right. So now the question is, right? So if you want to solve this by using iterative method, Right, to start with, you need to have an initial value, right? So you should have an initial value, why not, right? So how you can apply a initial value of like this, so that probably is by applying a suitable or some explicit method to to this point, right? So apply some other explicit method to this point, right? Right, so I forgot the minus everywhere, right? So I should have a minus here, remember, that's what I'm missing. So I should have a minus here. Right, so by using an explicit method, right, we can always compute the initial value, right? Whenever you want to solve an implicit method, you can always apply a corresponding implicit method to get the initial value, and then you can solve by using this iteration. So that means you have two types of computation. First is you get a initial value and then you solve. Right? So in other ways, what you are doing is you are predicting an initial value and then you are correcting or evaluating it. Right? So that is how the predictor corrector method comes. Okay, so in a way you are predicting the initial value, so we call it the predictor method, right? And then what you do is you correct that value, right? So you predict an initial value, and then by using this iteration you are correcting it. That means you are improving it, right? So this will be your first choice for the approximation yn plus p, but anyways that is not a correct answer. So because you are supposed to apply this method, so obviously then you iterate it according to this iteration and correcting it. Okay, so you are predicting first and then improving it. Okay, so this is how we have a combination of predictor corrector method. So by doing both of them at the same time is called predictor corrector method, right? So first you predict and then you correct it. Right. Right, so we use the first letters to indicate it as predictor, corrector method. So basically it is a combination of two things, right? First is a predictor method and the second one is the corrector method, right? So you notice that actually I have to use different coefficients here, right? Because not necessarily the same method you can use, right? So you can use a different explicit method as well, right? So that is why here I am changing the notation for the coefficients. I put a tilde on the top just to indicate that the methods are not necessarily with the same coefficient, right? So you can go for different coefficients, right? So whenever we are giving a predictor corrector method, we should give it as a combination of two, right? So one is a predictor method and one is a corrector method, right? So now the problem is how many times we are going to correct it, because you remember you have an iteration. So whether you want to take yn plus p1 as the approximation, or whether you want to take yn plus 2 as the approximation, or yn plus 3 as the approximation, right? So that depends on how many times you may need to do the iteration, right? So that means you that many times you may need to correct it. But correcting means then you have to have a limit, right? How many times you can iterate. So that correction means you have to have evaluation in the middle, right? Okay, so you can see that if you are applying this predictor corrector method, then you put yn plus p 0 and then you compute yn plus p 1. But if it is one step, it is okay, right? So you can just do everything on one step. But if you are writing it as a program, or if you have to compute yn plus p2, yn plus p3, then you can notice that at every step you have to compute this, right? So remember, this is your iteration, right? And so basically this is your iteration. So every time you use this to predict and then you use this to correct. But remember, in order to do the correction, you have to do this evaluation at every point. So that means you can change this notion of the method as predictor, evaluator, corrector method. right? So that means the method can be renamed as evaluation as well. Right? So we include predictor, corrector method, and because of this evaluation at the middle, right? So because you have to evaluate this part, basically at every step for k is equal to 0, you have to evaluate this. For k is equal to 1, you have to evaluate that. For k is equal to 2, you have to evaluate that. So at every step, you have to do some evaluation. So we call it, instead of predictor corrector method, sometimes we call it predictor evaluation and corrector method. Right? So prediction, evaluation, and then correction. So now what if you have to do more than one iteration, right? Right? So if you are doing more than one iteration, right? Say suppose you are doing two iteration, then twice you have to evaluate, and twice you have to correct, and then finally you evaluate one more time to get the results, right? So this is called PECM mod. Sorry, not E, PECM, right? So because you evaluate, you compute this, right? So right, so for all k running from 0 to m minus 1, right, because you start with 0, so if you are doing it m times, you go up to k running from 0 to m minus 1, and then you evaluate it, right? So this is called predictor, evaluator, corrector m times mod, right? So we say PC mod, then you know just is prediction and correction, right? And then if PEC mod, then you know it's one step, just do a prediction, just do an evaluation, and just do one correction. So you stop with e n plus p1, right? If it is PEC2, then you stop at Pn plus P2, and so on, right? So we call it predictor, evaluator, corrector method, right? So sometimes, right? So at the end, if you have an extra e at the end, like the way I wrote earlier, then I erased it, right? So if you have an extra e at the end, then you may need to evaluate f at the last computed point, right? Or last computed iteration. So that means in this case yn plus pm, right? So you may need to evaluate that as well, right? So this is how you do the predictor corrector method, right? So now you know that if you have to do a problem with PC method, right? So base idea is PC method, prediction and correction, but then it comes to evaluation, and it comes to how many times you have to do evaluation and correction, right? So basically you have to be given a predictor method which has to be an explicit method, obviously, because if it is an implicit method, then that is not going to be useful for the prediction. So obviously your prediction method will always be an explicit method, and then correction method will always be an implicit method, so that you can do the iteration. So you should have two methods given to you to apply predictor corrector method to computer solution, right? So let us do a simple example on a predictor corrector method. Okay, so here an initial value problem is given. Y prime is equal to t minus y squared with initial value at 1. So here you use the explicit Euler method as the predictor method and implicit Euler method as the corrector method, right, respectively. So to approximate y at 0.3, right, and here you have to use PEC mod, right? So just one evaluation and one correction, nothing else, right? So use h is equal to 0.1, right? So then clearly you can see this t naught is equal to 0, t1 is equal to 0.1, t2 is equal to 0.2, t3 is equal to 0.3. Y naught is 1, and then you have to compute y1, y2, and y3. And y3 is the approximation which we are looking for. Right. So as an example, I will do it for y1. Similarly, you can continue doing this to get approximation for y3. Okay, so first I will write the methods, right? So this is my predictor. Yn plus 1 is equal to yn plus h times f of tn comma yn. This is my predictor, and then my evaluation is this f of tn plus 1 comma yn plus 1, and then corrector is yn plus 1 is equal to yn plus h times f of tn plus 1 comma yn plus 1. These are my predictor, evaluator, corrector methods, right? So predictor is explicit Euler, evaluator is evaluation, and then corrector is implicit Euler, right? So basically I have to do this. So y1 0, I have to use prediction step 1, right? So at t1, right? Remember, you have to go up to t3. So I will start at t1. My y1 0 is y naught plus h times f of t naught comma y naught, and that is y naught is this 1 plus h is 0.1 times f is t minus y square. So t naught is 0 minus y naught squared is 1 square. Right, so this is your prediction. Y naught is equal to h, y naught plus h times f of t naught comma y naught. F of t naught comma y naught is t naught minus y naught squared, and h is 0.1, so that's 0.9. So then you do evaluation. So f of t n plus 1. So remember n is 0, right? Because you remember here n is 0, right? So you choose n is 0. So n is 0, so you got t1 comma y1 0. That is what you have to evaluate. So t1 is 0.1 minus y1 square, right? So that is 0.9 square. So that is 0.1 minus 0.8981, right? So is it minus 0.71? right? So you can check the computation of your own later, right? And then you do the correction. Is y1 1 is equal to y naught plus h times f of t1 comma y1 naught, right? So here y naught is 1 plus h is 0.1 times this, that is minus 0.71. So that is 1 minus 0.071. So 929. Okay, so if you calculate this and double check the work, so you can see that the prediction, evaluation, and correction, right? So this is how you do this. And then you know the rest is step 2. Step 2, so you have n is equal to 1 and t2 is equal to at t2, right? And then you do step 3. So n is equal to 2 and you do it at t3, right? So you do same procedure for 2 more steps, right? So this is how you do prediction, evaluation, and correction in that order, right? Suppose if I change the mod, then you may need to do it furthermore, right? So this part rest I do it as leave it as a homework, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this a little bit, the same question. Right, so if I change the question like this, and so if I change the question like this, you remember this time I have to do PEC2, right? So recall that. So here the first step is not completed yet, because you know you have to do 2 evaluation, 2 corrections. So you do one more evaluation here. Evaluation here is f of t1 comma y1 1. So that is 0.1 minus 0.929 square. That you can compute. And then you remember PEC squared. So you do 2 evaluation, 2 corrections. So then you do correction one more time. So that is y1 2, that is equal to y naught plus h times f of t1 comma y1 1. So that again you can do the computations, right? 0.1 minus 0.929 quantity squared, and that value you compute and then substitute in the next equation, and then you do, right? So if I change the question to PEC squared mod, then you may have to redo the evaluation and correction twice within every step. Right, so here because I change it to 0.1, you do only one step, but you do 2 evaluations and 2 corrections. Right? So this is how you apply predictor, evaluation, and corrector method. Right? So what we are going to do is you can make problems like this of your own and you can do it, right? So if we increase the number of nodes over easy, right? So if we increase it 3 4, then the computation becomes lengthy. So that is why we always try to avoid it with one step of computation and or 2 steps of computation. But you can always go to any order, and you can always change the methods as well, right? So implicit Euler method, can be converted to some trapezoidal rule or some midpoint rule. Like that, you can change the mods, change the methods as well to create different computations, right? So those are how you do prediction, evaluation, and correction method. So next concept we are going to study is the absolute stability of the predictor corrector method, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to take a break this week, and then we will continue the next class on next Monday. Hello. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to stop the class for this week from today. Tuesday and Friday, you will have no classes, and we will start again on next Monday. And on next Monday, what we are going to do is we are going to revisit the absolute stability, and then there we are going to see how we can do the absolute stability for these prediction, evaluation, and correction method. And after that, we are going to start a new chapter called Ranguta methods. So we will take a break this week, and we will start fresh again in the next week, next Monday.